We'll split all utilities. We'll split rent.
Yep.
Who's paying the bills? Are you paying them?
All right. So I just like saw somebody making a video about this clip from like Love is Blind. And honestly, I have to put my 2 cents on this video. Like, I just feel like that if literally like you don't have your life together, you're still living with your parents, you're unemployed, and like you don't really have a lot going for you yet, and it's okay, like it's okay to like live with your parents at the age of 28 and stuff like that. But if you're like literally like still trying to figure out your life, trying to get your life together and try to eventually become independent and like, you know, pursue your big career, don't go on a dating show in the middle of that. Don't go on a dating show when you like see yourself like, you know, don't apply for a dating show when you see like you don't have your life together, like you don't have your finances together, like you don't have a job, like you're unemployed, or like literally just like you're still living with your parents, like your parents are still paying your bills. Like, don't go on a dating show, because that could literally like be a financial burden to like somebody else who's like your partner, and it could like really kind of tear them apart and cause so much stress on them, because then now they basically have to take care of you. So now it's like you're either like a daughter or a son to them, like if whether it's like a woman or like a man. Like if like you don't have your life together, especially, and like you're still living with your parents, like you're still living with family, don't go on a dating show, because it literally could be a burden to like the person that like you are dating. And like I've seen it happen so many times on dating shows, to the point where it's literally like insane, like when I watch it. Hey you guys, I'm back with another YouTube video. This is literally like my 3rd YouTube video of the day, because there has been like a lot of Love is Blind tea that just has been like spoiling over. But I came across a video today, and it was like about the scene where like Nick D and Hannah, they were having a conversation about finance, and come to find out that Nick D still lives with his parents, which is okay. But should you come on a dating show or a marriage show when you still live with your parents? I honestly think not. And here's why. Like when you're living with your parents, like you don't really have a full idea of how it's like to get up and be in. And I mean, I know, like, I get that being independent could be scary as it is. I get that like being independent could literally be scary as it is, but it's just like when you are used to having mom and dad pay for everything, because literally in this video, Nick says that his dad pays for his phone bill, his mom pays for his phone bills, his parents pay for like his insurance, his health insurance, I think, and his car insurance. And yes, I have parents as well who do the same thing for me. But would I go on a dating show? I will not go on a dating show if I know like I could literally be a burden to, like, I would not go on a show with the intentions of getting married when I know that I could literally be a whole burden to somebody with my financial problems. Like, if I'm used to my parents paying for everything, why am I going to go on a marriage show? Because then it's like, okay, my parents are paying everything, but then it's just like, what if something happens to my parents where they can't like really support me fully like that? I'm not gonna it's gonna be a whole risk, because yo, when I saw this scene, I literally flipped out in like a funny way, not in a way to like bash Nick, but I feel like that Nick and Hannah should have called it quits right then and there, because I'm just like, what do you mean to tell me that Nick and Hannah are still going to make it to the altar when Nick don't even know how to pay half his bills? I'm so sorry. Like, a person who literally, it's like me. If I'm literally a person who literally like still lives with my parents, I still live with my parents, and I'm like, let's say I'm like, and I'm 27 and I'm like so desperate to be on Love is Blind, but I still live with my parents. They still pay for my phone bill. They still pay, which is nice. and like I don't have experience paying for everything myself, being independent, being in my own world. And then it's like, I think that Nick D does not really have his own identity. And I think the reason why Nick D is so with his sports and all he talks about is sports and not really money, because literally sports is his whole life and he hasn't learned anything outside of playing sports, because he's literally so obsessed with just him being in sports and stuff like that. Just sports. When literally Hannah brought up stocks and like investing in stocks, Nick D tried to flip the question and be like, oh, but like, do you know sports? And then like Hannah was just like, no. So like basically Nick D was so unserious about it. And I feel like that Nick like doesn't really have his own identity, and like he's been just bubbled up, which is fine. Like it's fine to live with your parents for however long. Like I believe that you could live with your parents at the age of 30, at the age of 35. Like I believe that you could live with your parents forever. Like your parents' place is forever. But my thing is, don't go on a dating show where you're forced to get married, because then let's say Nick D and Hannah do get married, and then now Nick D moves into Hannah's apartment, but Nick D, like his parents are still paying for his phone bills and stuff like that, and like paying for everything, and it's just like paying for all this stuff, and it's like Nick D don't even know how to pay for half the stuff. So it's just like, where do the finances go? And I know, yes, like it's gonna be less bills for Hannah and Nick D to pay together if they do even make it together, which I highly doubt, because I just heard some tea that like they don't make it to the altar. But I also heard some tea that like somebody did spoiler alert on Married at First Sight, and they were also wrong. But my whole idea is just that, why literally would you go on a marriage show with the intentions of getting married when you don't have your own identity? Like, who goes on a marriage show when when literally like their whole identity is just sports? Oh, I was a football player back in college. I was a quote unquote fake pro football player back in after college. Like, to me, I just don't get it, and I just feel like that Nick D. If okay, like I feel like that dating is okay. While I think dating is perfectly fine while living in your parents' home, but I feel like that to go on a show like Married at First Sight or Love is Blind, where you literally have to get married in like 4 weeks, you're literally forced to get married. So I'm just like, now it's like you got everything handed to you as a kid, and it's like now you're going into the real world, and it's like, okay, you're gonna still have your parents helping you, but it's just like, aren't you an adult? And like you, like, and it's just like, I mean, people, this video that I'm gonna put up on my this video that I'm gonna put up soon. There was the video that I saw about like Nick D and Hannah's conversation about like finances. People were like, oh, like if I was a guy and like my girlfriend's parents was paying everything for her, I'd be jealous too. And I feel like that Hannah kind of showed some jealousy, because she was like, oh, when I was 18, I had to pay for stuff for myself at the jump, which I kind of felt bad for, because I'm also one who like I never experienced that. And then you have Nick D, who's like, yeah, like my mom pays my car insurance, my mom pays my phone bill, like my mom pays for, like my parents pay for certain stuff. So it's like, okay, yeah, like Nick D, he was a little bit sheltered, but I'm just like, for him to be on a marriage show, it just kind of puts a burden on Hannah, because what if all of a sudden Nick D's parents decide to stop paying for Nick's bills and be like, Nick, you're on your own now? Because literally there are some parents that will do that, because parents cannot like take care of you forever, because at some day they're going to leave this earth. So I'm just like, when they leave this earth, what is Nick D going to do? Because then afterwards it's going to be a burden to Hannah, and it's like, they're going to have a divorce, because it's just like, okay, now it's like either Nick D doesn't know how to pay all his bills and Hannah has to take over, or Hannah has to literally be his mom, like literally. And I was reading the comments on this video, and it was like, oh, so like they're trying to throw Nick D away. They want Hannah to take over and like be her child or stuff like that. And I'm just like, that is very messed up, because it's just like, for me, I would literally be so like kind of a little bit like side-eyeing this person if like this guy don't even pay for his own hair, because like his parents are paying for everything, and like we're literally on a marriage show, and it's just like, okay, so now it's like my partner literally like doesn't really know how to do a lot of stuff financially, and it's just like, okay, now it's like I kind of have to like take over a lot and like kind of teach this person stuff, or even me pay a lot of the bills. And also it seemed like that Nick D was fronting like that Hannah was Nick D was kind of fronting that like Hannah was going to like pay all the bills or stuff certain like that, like, or stuff like that. Like it was like Nick D was trying to front and be like, oh, like, but like isn't Hannah gonna like it was like Nick D was kind of just like giving Hannah an invitation to, oh well, you could pay my phone bill, I guess, or you could pay my car insurance, I guess, you could pay my car note. And I'm so happy when Nick D asked like, what's the benefit of us having a joint account? Hannah was like, no, we'll have it separate. I think she's like, we'll have it separate because she don't want to deal with like then eventually like Nick D using her for her money. And I felt so bad. I was like, what are they gonna do? Like you literally, and it's like even when Hannah showed the house tour to Nick no, sorry. When Nick D showed the house tour to Hannah was so confused. Like, this guy really still lives with his parents and he's on a dating show. And it's just like, he literally, and like, the other crazy part is that he literally looked in the fridge for pasta. And I mean, I get it. Like, even sometimes when I help my parents cook, like, I don't know where certain things are, but it's like, I would not go on a marriage show knowing that, like, I'm not a fully established adult yet. And I feel like that the lesson here today is that do not go on a dating show if you're like, do not go on a dating show. Like, you could go on a show like Love Island, like all them other dating shows is fine because you could just break up and it's like, okay, like we were meant for each other, move on to our next person, our next future potential person. Like, that's how life goes. But it's just like, for you to be forced in a marriage show, it kind of just wastes Hannah time because it's just like, okay, like this show is for marriage and it's like, okay, now this guy, like, he doesn't know how to do half the stuff in life. Like, he doesn't really know how to navigate in life. And me as well with a disability, like, I understand Nick D's struggle as well, but I'm just like, I would never go on a show like Love is Blind if I'm not a fully established adult. Like, I'm talking about, I'm not established fully at all. Like, I would never go on a dating show and like jeopardize myself like that. Like, that is just like, I could not do it. Like, I could not jeopardize myself where it's like, okay, like, I literally don't have my own identity. All I talk about is just sports all the time. And like me, like, I get it. Like, I talk about reality television all the time, but it's just like, I feel like that when you learn to like live independently, either with roommates or by yourself, I don't really believe in like living by yourself alone when you're becoming independent, because there's a lot of crimes happening, and like you have an easier chance of like, you know, being targeted in like the real world if like you live alone and like you like live in like an apartment like alone, especially like a bad apartment, and like you live there alone, like you are easily targeted to like for people to like, you know, try to like do something to you. But like in general, like I feel like that before someone were to like go on a show like Love is Blind or Made at First Sight, they literally need to go see how it feels living alone without your parents, building your own identity, building yourself up, being able to do things by yourself, and then okay, apply to Love is Blind and like see where that goes and be like, okay. But it's just like, I know like Love is Blind, like it's like a one in a lifetime opportunity, but I'm just like, I really feel super, super bad for Hannah. Like, I kind of feel a little bit bad for Hannah, and I honestly don't think like they're gonna work out. I really don't think that they're gonna work out, but I just had to really like speak my 2 cents on like that whole scene, because I'm just like, there is no way. And I feel like that why did Netflix like, sorry, why did the producers or like the casting for Love is Blind pick Nick to be on the show if they kind of knew that like he was? And it's like a lot with a lot of these men, like these men were unemployed, they didn't have jobs, a lot of people like had quit their jobs. Why are we casting people to go on Love is Blind that don't have jobs or who are not fully established like Nick? Like, I'm just like, if you guys like, did you guys not see like that Nick wasn't really established? Like, he still lived with his parents. That's kind of like a bit of a boy who's like a little bit immature, and that's why I kind of could see why Nick was kind of immature with like the whole duck scene. Like, when he was immature with the whole duck scene, I was just like, oh, like, yeah, you're very much immature. And I'm just like, I think that Nick needs to grow, but I do not think that Nick D and Hannah are making it to the altar, because there is just no way. Like, she has to accept all of that. She has to accept all of that. And when I saw that for the preview for next episodes, I was also a bit shocked. Like this better not go down like this. But I honestly don't think that like Hannah should marry Nick, because that's just embarrassing. That is just really, really embarrassing. I honestly don't know. But anyways, that's it for this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with friends and family, and I'll see you in my next video.